everyone, and welcome back to the podcast, My Popcorn Life, Binge, Brand, and Business with Story Shen. In episode 4, we set the stage for Zhu Yu, a Chinese drama filled with intrigue, family conspiracies, and the constant tension between loyalty, friendship, and romance. Today, we are picking up right where we left off. In this episode, we are going deeper into the story by focusing on two characters who are often overlooked. Wei Yan, the uncle of our main character Xie Zhen, and Qi Min, the former emperor's own grandson. Two men born into power, yet trapped by it. And their lives reveal something far bigger than personal struggle. They reveal the true cost of power and how a system can manipulate identity, loyalty, and trust. Because when you look at them closely, they are not just part of the plot, they are evidence. They are living proof of what happens when rulers treat human lives as tools. When politics values control over justice, and when protecting the throne become more important than protecting the truth. Both Wei Yan and Qi Min, in different ways, are victims of the former emperor's calculated games. They didn't choose the role they were forced into. They didn't ask to become symbols, and they definitely didn't deserve to carry burdens that should have never belonged to them. And that's what makes their storyline so heartbreaking, because it's not just tragedy, it's engineered by the system. And honestly, that's why Zhu Yu feels so real. This drama doesn't just show heroes and villains. It shows gray areas. It shows people trapped inside a structure they didn't build. It shows how power can rewrite truth, manufacture reputation, and destroy innocent lives, all while the world pretends everything is stable. And as I watched, I kept thinking, this isn't just a historical story. This is a mirror reflecting modern life, because we've all seen it in business, in organizations, and even in personal relationships. Reputation can be carefully packaged. People can rise not because they are capable, but because they know how to flatter, perform, and play the game. And when the wrong leader holds power, an entire system can rot from the top down. In Zhu Yu, identity isn't just personal, it's political. Trust is rare. Loyalty is expensive. And every alliance comes with a price. This drama keeps reminding me that behind every decision, every betrayal, and every public image, there's always a motive hiding underneath. It's never just about what happens, it's about why it happens. So, in today's episode, I will walk you through the next major developments in the story, break down the key turning points, and take you deeper into Wei Yan and Qi Min's storyline. Because their lives reveal the real meaning behind everything happening in the shadows. And as always, I will share the business insight hidden inside the drama, lessons about strategy, leadership, branding, trust, and human nature. So grab your popcorn, get comfortable, because we are diving back into Zhu Yu. Today's hook is Family Secret, What History Hides. Fan Changyu grew up singing innocent childhood rhymes, never imagined the heavy truths hidden in their words. Her father, Wei Qilin, was known as the greater traitor. But she didn't even know her parents had changed their names to hide from the government and to take the blame for the former emperor's purposely false decisions. The label followed them everywhere, whispered in the street, repeated in classrooms, embedded in songs she once sang without thought. As Fan Changyu grew, she began to see that history isn't what it seems. Words, labels, and stories can be twisted. Facts can be bent. Truths can be buried under layers of rumor and fear. Many people assume that what they see and hear is the truth. Often, they only want to believe what suits them. They avoid uncovering the real facts because the truth is too difficult or inconvenient to accept. Those in power twist reality. Sometimes, people don't even need to attack you directly. The world will do it for them. Manipulation can happen quietly, invisibly, and it's all too easy to let it control perception. Think about it. This is, in a way, another form of collective bullying. This teaches a hard lesson. Do not follow the crowd blindly. Seek the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Do not be fooled by words that claim kindness, but hide hidden agendas. As Confucius said, the gentleman refines himself through self-cultivation, aligns with the way, upholds it with integrity, does not drift with the current, and is not defiled by the world. History, labels, and appearances can all be manipulated. The real story lies beneath, complex, hidden, and far more human than anyone dares to admit. Now, let's dive into Wei Yan and Qi Min's storyline. Wei Yan in Zhu Yu was originally a noble and capable court official who once supported the crown prince, hoping to stabilize the empire and live a simple life with Council Su. However, the late emperor, the crown prince's grandfather, ended up taking Council Su for himself, shattering Wei Yan's hope. Later, an offhand remark Wei Yan made about abdication was misunderstood by the late emperor, which unexpectedly led to the downfall of the crown prince's faction. This not only triggered the tragedy of Jingzhou, but also caused the brutal death of Wei Yan's own sister and brother-in-law, the parents of the main lead Xie Zhen. From that point on, he fell into a path of no return. He transformed from an idealist into a ruthless power player, eliminating rivals and manipulating the court. In the end, the truth was exposed. Wei Yan was captured and executed, dying with his obsession with Council Su and deep regret, becoming a tragic figure shaped by ambition, love, and fate. Qiming in Zhu Yu was originally the son of the crown prince, with high expectations placed upon him, kind-hearted and righteous. However, his life was completely shattered by political turmoil. In order to save him from the imperial purge, his mother went as far as to have his face disfigured, allowing him to survive in secret under a false identity, posing as the son of the Prince of Changxing, the crown prince's brother, Qiming's uncle, who is also fighting for the throne. From that moment on, Qiming's personality gradually became distorted and eccentric. Long-term repression, trauma, and identity confusion eroded his original stability. He became unpredictable, at times calm and restrained, at times extreme and obsessive. Torn between survival, hatred, and the search for self-identity, he was forced into the vortex of court politics. Ultimately, he became a tragic figure reshaped by trauma and fate. In episode 36, rivalry could spark playful battles of words, even in ancient times. The fan groups of Lord Hou, the male lead Xie Zhen, and the flower general, the female lead Fan Changyu, bantered and argued, each defending their favorite with passion and wit. Their debates are more than just noise. They reveal how humans crave recognition, loyalty, and a sense of belonging. Watching them, it's clear that human behavior transcends time. The same biases, the same desire to be seen and valued, show up in modern social groups, online communities, and even in brand fandoms today. What seems like petty arguing often reflects deeper patterns of identity and influence. The lesson, whether managing a community, a team, or a brand, understanding these dynamics is key. People respond to recognition, status, and belonging. And the echoes of history reminds us that some aspects of human behavior never really change. In episode 38, the crowd murmurs and whispers in the bustling square, trying to make sense of what they hear. Rumors swirl like leaves in the wind, and everyone struggles to separate fact from fiction. What appears obvious on the surface is often deceiving. The truth hides beneath layers of gossip and assumption. This moment reveals a timeless lesson. Seeing isn't always believing. To understand the world, whether in business or life, you need more than first impressions. You need critical thinking, careful observation, and verification. Insight comes not from the loudest voice and the clearest headline, but from looking deeper, questioning boldly, and seeking the patterns behind appearances. Appearances can mislead, but those who look beyond them gain clarity and the power to act wisely. Beyond the drama and storyline, What can we actually take away from this? In the last episode, we talked about branding, identity, trust, and teamwork. In this episode, we turn to information literacy. Seeing isn't always believing. In business, information is everywhere. Markets, competitors, media, social platforms, but not all of it is accurate, relevant, or useful. Appearances can be misleading, and hearsay is rarely reliable. And what people say is rarely the full truth. The real skill is not collecting more data, but learning to verify, analyze, and think critically. Insight, not assumption, is the real asset. Strong information literacy helps leaders separate noise from signal. A negative headline, for example, may look like a crisis, but with proper analysis, it can become an opportunity to improve messaging or strengthen trust. Key questions guide better decisions. What is the source? And is it credible? What biases or motives might exist? How does this fit into larger trends? What assumptions am I making? From a modern perspective, this feels even more relevant. Even mainstream media often carries its own agenda and political stance. Even if journalists are professional, if the media isn't truly neutral, who are we supposed to trust? That's why learning independent thinking, rather than being pulled around by rumors, headlines, or media narratives, is not just a skill, it is survival. In an age of information overload, the ability to think clearly and stay grounded is real power. Next, let's talk about leadership and strategy. Effective leadership goes beyond giving orders and managing tasks. It requires understanding the motivations, values, and intentions behind people's actions. Surface behavior can be misleading, and without insight into the why, leaders risk misjudgment, missed opportunities, and lower team morale. In complex organizations and fast moving markets, strategy depends on coding what drives decisions, objectives, pressures, and constraints. When leaders understand these factors, they can anticipate challenges, guide team more effectively, and align actions with broader goals. This requires active listening, seeking to understand before judging, and balancing short-term pressure with long-term direction. It also means aligning incentives, recognition, and communications with real motivations. Leaders who do this well navigate complexity with clarity and precision, turning tensions into alignment and growth. By focusing on the why instead of just the what, they make better decisions and build stronger teams. In short, leadership and strategy depends on insight into motivation. Seeing beneath the surface is what separates managers from true leaders. Zhu Yu is more than a historical suspense drama. It's not just about political power, hidden identity, and survival. It reflects modern life, business, and human nature itself. One of its clearest message is simple but uncomfortable. Truth is rarely obvious. In Zhu Yu, truth is not easily found. It has to be uncovered, and sometimes it's buried deeply, intentionally hidden, or simply difficult to dig for. Even when it's revealed, it's often incomplete, distorted, or uncomfortable to believe. History is often shaped by power, and information becomes a tool rather than a fact. Doesn't that feel familiar? In business, politics, media, and even personal relationships, truth is constantly packaged, framed, and edited. People reveal what benefits them, protects them, or helps them win. So the drama quietly reminds us, don't assume what you see is what's real. What looks like chaos may be strategy. What looks like loyalty may be calculation. What looks like weakness may be patience. It's not just history, it's the same system, just with different language and tools. Another core theme is trust. In Zhu Yu, trust is never instant. It's earned through time, action, consistency, and proof. That's exactly how it works in business. A partnership isn't just built by agreement. A team isn't just built by meetings. A brand isn't just built by aesthetics, but by consistency. Real reputation takes time, and those who last are not always the loudest or the strongest, but the most observant, the one who listens more than they speak, and understand when silence carries weight. This is leadership. Then there is identity. In Zhu Yu, identity is never fixed. People constantly shift roles to survive. Status changes. Alliances break. Appearances adapt. This is modern branding. A brand is not what you claim. It is what people experience, remember, and trust. When identity is built only on appearance, it becomes fragile. One rumor, one mistake, one exposure can collapse everything. Real strength comes from something deeper than image. Your value, consistency, and behavior over time. Because attention fades, trends disappear, but grounded identity lasts. Another key idea is that motivation matters more than the result. We often judge outcomes, who succeeded, who failed. But the deeper question is, why did they act? Because result can mislead. Success can hide fear, insecurity, and desperation. Meanwhile, quiet people may carry discipline, clarity, and resilience. Motivation shapes everything: patience, risks, decisions, integrity. And in the long run, it determines whether success is sustainable or self destructive. What the female lead, Fan Changyu, shows us is that wisdom is not about being impressive. Wisdom is about understanding human nature. It's knowing that people often act out of fear. It's knowing that power is often discussed as kindness. It's knowing that manipulation often wears a smile. And it's knowing that truth is often hidden inside silence. In our modern world filled with performance, social media performance, corporate performance, personal branding performance, Zhu Yu reminds us that what matters most is not what people show, but what they are protecting, what they want, and what they are afraid of losing. Because when you understand that, you don't just see behaviors, you see the truth. So, the core lesson is simple. Don't rush to judge. Don't rush to trust. And don't rush to act. Observe, think, reflect, and adjust. Because those who last are not the fastest movers. They are the ones who understand the game. Surface thinking creates short-term wins. Deep understanding creates long-term power. In the end, Zhu Yu reminds us, success is not always about being seen. Sometimes it's about clarity, patience, and the ability to notice what others ignore. And maybe that is the most modern lesson of all. Okay, that's all for today's episode. If you enjoyed uncovering life and business insights through historical stories, remember to subscribe to my Pakong Life, Binge, Brand, and Business podcast. We've now reached the end of the season 1 of my Pakong Life, Binge, Brand, and Business. Next episode, we kick off a brand new season 2, going beyond binge watching global pop dramas and stepping into the real story of immigrant entrepreneurs building businesses from the ground up. Because behind every brand is a story of starting over, navigating a new culture, learning a new market, and taking risks without a safety net. Next, we'll share more lessons distilled from immigrant entrepreneurs' stories, movies, and series. Until then, keep your popcorn ready and your business radar sharper than ever. This is Story Shen with my Pakong Life, where binge meets brand.